know that your music and your art, when I see the visuals, they kind of go hand in hand, like they're almost as if they're, like one. So, what message are you trying to put out there, through your music and through your art?
Well, like I was saying, with my music and my art both combined together, I'm really just trying to push forward. Like, you can be an individual, you can be yourself, you can have your own thoughts, you can have your own feelings, you can have your own culture. You can do what you want to do. And the reason I say that is just because the multi things that I do, and I purposefully do them because I'm like, I love this stuff. I love all of this stuff, and I can't stick to one thing. I got these different feels and vibes. When it comes to music, I like so much type of music. I normally can blend them down into each other to make a cohesive, sound. But it's like I want to keep being able to do that. So that's why, I break from the music. Sometimes I go back to the arts and I go to the music. The one they're really, it's just really about freedom. Just being me. And I want people to be able to feel like they can be them and do a multitude of things and don't have to worry about judgment or who says what about what they do. That's why I love cartoons. They're so important because they invoke so much.
Mm-hmm.
And, with music, it invokes so much. And, like, cartoons and music go hand in hand. Good example, Looney Tunes.
Mm-hmm.
That whole show was based off orchestras. What I'm saying? They had to animate to the orchestrations. It was crazy. I want to have that same impact, and I want people to feel the impact and understand, we can be more than what our, like, set categories is supposed to be,
Right. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. Like, because I watch cartoons, and the reason why is because sometimes real life is hard, and, I just want to look at a cartoon, just to make it seem easier. Even though cartoons sometimes are, relaying messages and stuff, it's easier to see it through that vision than it is, to kind of see it through real life. And then, I want to touch on a little bit of you saying like you want people to just kind of be themselves and, not worried about what other people are, kind of like seeing them as and stuff like that. So how do you maintain that? Because, you said that the type of music you make is alternative. Which is not a mainstream type of category, and I'm not sure, how you actually present yourself in life, but correct me if I'm wrong, it may be alternative as well. So how do you kind of, got to that point where you're able to feel comfortable within yourself and just be as you are?
It's always been there, I could say. It was times in my life where I was in places where I probably shouldn't been, I lost a lot of friends, like, over the years, just, like, transitioning and trying to be something that I don't have to be type of shit. It's like, I have friends robbing, stealing, doing all odd things, all in jail. It's only two of my friends from, like, high school that aren't in jail. I'm like, I'm really not trying to be down that path. I'm trying to stay straight edge with what I'm trying to do in life. I don't try to, like, promote violence and shit like that. I like crazy violent things. I like cartoons, it comes with the package, but, it's like I don't promote it. I just create, I know it's raw. I want people to live raw, but I want them to live safely at the same time. So it's like, I'm a mixed bunch, I'm a mixed batch of a person, because it's like, I do create a lot of insanity, but with insanity, I try to add meaning to it. I want people to understand, like, this is insanity, but it's insanity with intent. This is to help you understand things. Like, people told me they didn't understand the topic until I made a comic about it. And, when someone told me that, I'm like, Jesus Christ, we need to get things together, because people, I feel like things are just getting real disconnected now. And I wanted people to just work better, feel better, cope better.
Right.
I feel like coping is just out the window. And I know myself, I struggle with coping and things of that nature. So, I don't know. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. It's a lot to myself when it comes to my, like, how I present myself. Because it's hard to present myself one way because I'm so many ways, you know.
So what's one of the comics you created that got the most attention, whether it was, you know, through criticism or positive attention?
One of the comics that got the most attention was my comic Escada, the Homophobe.
Okay. And I think that was the one that I actually, the first time I seen like your comments and stuff, yeah.
That one is my favorite one. That one is my favorite one because it literally did its job correctly, and I went to sleep and woke up and it did exactly what it was supposed to do, and I was just so blown back. And there was so many arguments and sides and people just going at each other's throats. I didn't want that part, but I knew it kind of comes with the bag because people just gonna argue regardless, you know. And it did. Why I say it did what it did because the comic is called Escada, the Homophobe. I'm not a homophobe, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I did the comic book of literally, I knew the people who read it, and I knew the people who didn't read it, and it was obvious as fuck. So I'm just sitting here, just like the people in the comments even saying it, like, you're doing what the comic said you do. I'm just sitting there like, Jesus Christ, I feel bad for these people because now they are combating because they're actually reading the comic, you know. So in the comic, I'm just doing what I normally do. I'm giving cash to homeless people. I'm going like grocery shopping, just out and about, getting food, whatever not. And, you know, I go to freaking Detroit Bubble Tea. Shout out to them. You know, I love Detroit Bubble Tea. So, in every scene of me doing these things, it's this crazy girl just jumping up saying, you're a homophobe and you're homophobic. And I'm like, I hear this so much in like the weirdest context. And I'm like, that's not really homophobic. But I mean, if you call it that, you call it that. People, I tell people, like, if they said that's what you are, that's what you are. You don't have to fight it because they're going to keep that idea. You know what I'm saying? So people are saying you're calling me a homophobe. I'm like, I didn't say anything homophobic in the comic. Only thing homophobic in the comic was the word homophobe. You know, and that's not even homophobic. That's just the word homophobe. You can't be afraid of the word. The word and the context of the word, that's kind of redundant. You know, so I'm like, this is fun, but it's horrible because now people are talking about hurting each other and stuff, and like fighting and everything. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is a cartoon. You know, I'm like, everybody slow down, slow down. So, you know, it got taken down, it got reported, whatever, and it was going crazy. Like, it was getting, like, shared a shit ton. It was, like, too many likes, too many comments. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this invokes some craziness. And so when they got taken down, I was like, okay. I reposted it again, but I put remastered on it. So I used to watch a lot of movies in the 90s and early 2000s, and a lot of them had commercials for the ET digital re-enhancement. So when I did the remastered comic, I just threw ET in every scene, you know, like it's a digital remaster.
Right, and nobody said anything about it then.
No, people were still loving it. They loved the whole idea because a lot of people like got you know the digital remastering of it, and so like it was just fun. You know, I was just having fun making a comic. Later, I made a whole state press conference like comic of me sitting down talking with Oprah and Ellen, and you know, it's like if you know my humor, you already know how I figured that would go, you know. So after that, I did another zany comic. It was the Amazing Adventures of Scott and Donald Trump, and it's just some, like I told you, like Scooby-Doo type of like situations. Donald Trump is my Scooby-Doo, you know what I'm saying? So we like tiptoeing through an old warehouse together, trying to find the bad guys, and he's showing me like his karate moves and shit like that. And my character said, well, I'm holding like bubble tea. I'm like, well, I was just gonna like shoot him or something, you know.
Oh, Lord.
You know, he's telling me like, well, you know, that's your American right to have that firearm. You know, just going into the
right,
just poking at people and they like feelings and notions on things. So, you know, I literally just be having fun. Like, this is the country, this is the world. I live in it too. I can have fun with these materials because they're not even serious materials. I make them playful for those who know how to play and can take a joke.
Yeah, I think too, you know, even with that homophobe one, like, you're always going to get people who, even if they did read it, they still may take it out of context.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? And that's kind of the world we live in now anyway, you know, where we're kind of like divided in this way. Like, for instance, with Donald Trump, there's so many people who, really agree what he's saying, and they hear what he's saying in a different way than half of the country does too. So yeah, I mean, I think that I really do think that you should continue doing what you're doing with the comments. The fact that you're putting out messages, and not just putting out something just to put out something. And I'm happy that you was able to put your stuff back up there too. So I don't know who reported it, but start reporting his stuff, man. So let everybody know where they can find you at on social media.
You can find me on Instagram at Darklord_Escada, ESCADA. You can find my music at High School Prom, High School with a Y, and school spelled SKOOL_prom.
And then again, let them know what they can look forward to from you in the future.
Oh, we have Fuck Love coming up. I'll be doing live body painting there. When is that? What day is that?
That's February 22nd.
February 22nd. And we also have our Cool Deaf Showcase playlist event going on. That's going to be, January 15th. I mean, February 15th. February 15th.
Right.
You can
We can't go back in the past.
Not at all. If
I wish we could,
that
though,
would be amazing.
That would be too sweet, I'm telling you.
Until it wasn't.
I'll go back and get a dinosaur for sure. For sure.
All right, well, I definitely appreciate you coming and sitting down with us.
No problem. Thank
and
you
we
for
look
having
forward
me.
to what you have in store.
Hmm?
I said we look forward to what you have in store.
Oh, for sure.